What up, fellow execs? It's the villain here to recap the Giants' Week 2 loss to the Dallas Cowboys. The Giants came into this game as underdogs, wound up losing the game 40 to 37 in overtime. What people are calling a thriller, I'm saying, you know what? I'm just happy it wasn't a blowout. But a lot of things to recap, a lot of good, a lot of bad, and very, very many things that were ugly. The Giants, came out aggressive on offense. They had a good kick return, got called back for penalties through the first drive. Lots of penalties. The Giants finished with 14 penalties that were accepted for over 160 yards. There were about 5 or 6 penalties that they were on them that were declined. All in all, they were penalized at least 20 times. 14 were accepted. The Cowboys weren't much better. They had about 12 penalties for a little over 100 yards in penalties. Ugly game from that standpoint, but unacceptable. The Giants need to definitely, what Dable would say, correct that for next week. But it was a horrific sighting. The first drive, James Hudson, the tackle that is playing for Andrew Thomas, who's recovering from foot surgery, does not need to play anymore. I was screaming that he should be cut during the game. He was penalized at least 5 times, 4 straight plays penalized, either personal foul, false start, or holding. It was pathetic. And then he was blowing up on the sideline at his teammates. Even Malik Neighbors was visibly upset. Awful play, awful game from him. Was pulled after that. Bo, the rookie, played very well at left tackle, and the offensive line held up pretty well. Only gave up 3 sacks in the game as a whole. But honestly, it was a horrific play from Hudson, and the offense, didn't recover much. They had to settle for a field goal in the red zone, which was a lot of what we could talk about for the game. The Giants settling for field goals or coming away empty without points. The first 2 drives, the Giants should have easily been up 14-0. We're only up 6-0. That was 8 points at least taken off the board that they left on the table. In the second half, the Giants were in the red zone twice, came only away with 3 points. It's 11 points. In all, there's about 19 points that the Giants missed out on because they couldn't complete drives. Red zone inefficiency again reared its ugly head. They finally got into the end zone in the red zone, but for the most part had to settle for field goals or, 4th down conversions, didn't make it. The Giants, I think, converted 6 of 14 third downs, 1 of 2 fourth downs, but one of those misses were the critical 4th down in the red zone. Points left on the table is one of the big problems why the Giants lost that game. You can point to the defense giving up 40 points to a good offense in Dallas, but the Giants defense was gassed by the 4th quarter, being on the field so much and in the overtime. So there was a lot of issues with that. The defense, for the most part, played meh. I wouldn't say they were great. I wouldn't say they were terrible. I think in the 4th quarter, they definitely ran out of steam. A lot of missed tackles, just tired bodies out there. But they were getting pressure on Dak Prescott, which we'd like to see. Carter had a good game. Brian Burns is the star of the defense right now, playing really well. So all in all, I thought the defense, I know the OC, the DC, is going to get a lot of criticism. Shane Bowen, and he should, for the soft coverage that he had, especially late in the 4th quarter and in overtime, giving Dallas a lot of room on the outside to just get quick outs and get quick plays and move right down the field. But, that's something that they need to correct. Offensively, the Giants really, I think found their stride. I was really impressed with Russell Wilson. The rumors of his demise are greatly exaggerated for now. I think he's bought himself a couple of starts. 450 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, but the critical interception at the end of the game, you can't do that in overtime. You cannot throw up a lob ball. And a lot of plays like that, when he's under duress, he was making some really rookie moves. So that needs to get corrected. But for the most part, he looked like he can play a couple more games in this offense. The offense came alive. I killed Mike Kafka last week. Give him credit. kind of switching things up, getting Cam Scatterbo really involved in the offense, 11 carries for about 46 yards and a touchdown. He looked really strong, powerful running the football. Tracy out of the backfield, running the ball and catching the ball. So that 1-2 punch is really starting to find their stride. Neighbors had his best game, one of his better games as a New York Giant. 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards, really involved in the offense, really dynamic. The Cowboys secondary was really bad. Their defense in general was really bad, but Neighbors was able to take advantage. Wendell Robinson was able to take advantage. He had 2 touchdowns. He played really well. So the offense looked good, but when it counted, when they needed points, they left points on the table. When they needed to make a drive, Russell Wilson 2 errant plays in overtime. The interception, which I alluded to earlier, and then the backwards pass that he had really just killed that drive. Any momentum that they had, all they needed was a field goal, and they couldn't get it done in overtime. As much scoring as they did, I think it was about 41 points between both teams in the fourth quarter, and they, in overtime, they couldn't get it done. So another year, another loss. The Giants starting the season 0-2 for the 10th time in 13 years. This team is 0-2 to start the season. Not a good way to try to get in the playoffs. The Giants have done it before. They've won a Super Bowl going 0-2, but I don't think anybody thinks that this team is anywhere near that team. So another tough game coming up. Their home opener against the Chiefs. We'll see what they have. The Chiefs not looking great so far. Maybe they can steal a win, but the Giants, that would have been a great way to get a win. And they didn't get it done. So that's it. See you.